Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Good to be diving in again.
Absolutely. So today we're digging into two, giants of modern rugby coaching, aren't we?
We are Rassie Erasmus of the Springboks and Scott Robertson, Razor, with the All Blacks.
And we're doing it using the perspective of a legend, Sir John Kirwan. He's got some sharp takes.
He certainly does.
Yeah, our mission really is to look at how their coaching styles, one seems really bold, the other maybe more cautious, how that might actually be about something deeper, like structural issues in the game down south.
Right, not just personality.
Exactly. And we have to start with maybe the most provocative thing Kirwan said. He didn't just call Rassie a great coach.
No, he went much bigger.
He said, Rassie Erasmus is not a Springboks coach. He's a South African god.
Wow. I mean, that's a statement.
It really is.
And it sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? Because if you're seen as a god, you get this incredible, almost license to operate, maybe even a license to fail sometimes.
Yeah, which changes how you approach things, right? Development versus just winning now.
Completely.
And look, if you love getting into these kinds of rugby details, the strategy, the coaching mind games,
The tactical stuff.
make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your podcasts. You won't want to miss these deep dives.
Definitely subscribe.
Okay, so let's unpack that core difference Kirwan sees. This clash. Erasmus being bold, Robertson being cautious.
Yeah, they really do seem like polar opposites right now, based on Kirwan's view. He says Erasmus, even after winning 2 World Cups back-to-back.
Incredible achievement.
Right. He still doesn't fold, doesn't bow to pressure. He just does what he wants.
So he uses tests almost like labs to experiment.
Kinda, yeah. Kirwan sees him building his squad constantly, even in big games.
Thinking ahead then, towards what, 2027 already?
That's the suggestion. Always building that depth, trying out combinations, playing the long game because, well, he's earned that confidence, hasn't he?
He has. Okay, so contrast that with Razor, Scott Robertson.
Well, according to Kirwan, Razor has generally preferred to err on the side of caution.
Meaning
He's focusing on continuity, sticking with combinations, minimizing changes, trying to build stability. Consolidation, maybe, rather than revolution?
Right. But Kirwan points out a specific, pretty stark example where caution maybe wasn't the winning ticket.
He does. Remember that huge game, Boks versus All Blacks? Erasmus made massive changes beforehand.
Yeah, the back line was it, like 5 personnel changes.
5 personnel and a positional switch.
Yeah.
It looked, well, Kirwan himself thought it looked panicked.
You would, wouldn't you? Before playing your biggest rivals. Seems incredibly risky.
Totally. And that's where the God thing kind of comes back in. You need serious backing, serious confidence to do that.
And the result?
Kirwan had to hold his hand up, basically admit he was wrong. The Boks didn't just win.
They hammered them.
Yeah, inflicted New Zealand's worst ever defeat. Put, 43 points on them in Wellington?
43 points. Wow. So that sort of vindicates Rassie's approach entirely. What looked like panic was actually calculated.
Calculated development, maybe. Giving guys experience in the heat of battle. And it paid off massively, both for the win and for the squad depth.
Which must make people look again at Robertson's caution.
Exactly. If Rassie can roll the dice like that and win big, why isn't Razor doing it? Or can't he?
Which leads us to the criticism he's been getting. What's the specific beef there? Is it just be more like Rassie?
It's a bit more specific. The criticism seems to be around loyalty. Kirwan points to Robertson choosing to stick with certain players.
Okay.
Players who maybe haven't been consistently hitting that top test level. Rico Ioane gets mentioned specifically.
Right. Talented player, but maybe consistency issues.
That seems to be the concern Kirwan's highlighting. Not about the raw talent, but maybe those crucial moments. Defense, attack. Are they always delivering? Robertson's caution suggests he values the known quantity.
Okay, so he's trying to build cohesion with a core group, but Kirwan thinks he missed a trick. A window to be bolder.
Yeah, he talks about the honeymoon period, that time right at the start when a new coach takes over.
When expectations are maybe a bit lower.
Exactly. The public, the media, they often give you a bit more leeway. They expect you to be trying stuff, building your thing.
So Kirwan thinks Razor should have ripped the Band-Aid off then, made big changes, maybe even taken a few losses.
That seems to be his point. Be more courageous early on, build for the long term. Because now, mid-season, the pressure's on for results right now.
And that links back to the whole God thing with Rassie, doesn't it? public backing.
Absolutely critical. Erasmus has built up so much credit with those World Cup wins.
He can afford a loss here or there.
It seems like it. A loss, then a win.
Yeah.
The public trusts his process. Robertson hasn't built up that same level of capital yet.
So every risk he takes feels bigger, carries more weight if it fails.
Precisely. He's still earning that trust. Erasmus has already banked it.
Okay, so we've got these two coaches, different styles, different levels of public rope, I guess. But then Kirwan pivots. He says this isn't just about Rassie being brave and Razor being cautious.
Right. This is where it gets really interesting, structurally.
He connects it to something deeper.
Yeah, he argues that their philosophies are actually symptoms. Symptoms of a deeper issue with player resources.
Resources, as in the players available.
Exactly. Kirwan suggests Robertson's caution isn't necessarily his preferred style, but maybe it's forced on him.
How so?
Because New Zealand, according to Kirwan, just doesn't have the incredible depth it used to have.
Really? That's a big statement. The All Blacks lacking depth?
Seems counterintuitive, I know. We think of that production line of talent.
Yeah, like 3 world-class players for every jersey.
But Kirwan's saying that's changed. That well isn't as deep anymore, and that forces Robertson's hand towards caution. He can't afford the risks Rassie takes.
Okay, where's the pinch point? Which positions are thin?
Kirwan points to key playmaking roles. Think fly half, fullback, when your top guys leave.
Going overseas for contracts?
Yeah, for the money. Those gaps aren't being filled by players with the same proven high-level experience. So if you get an injury or someone hits bad form...
Your backup isn't quite at the same level. The drop-off is bigger.
Much bigger. The margin for error just shrinks massively.
And Kirwan sees this happening elsewhere, too. Australia.
He draws a direct parallel. He says New Zealand is suffering like Australia's suffering because of this talent drain.
Can you give an example of how that plays out?
Yeah, he mentions Will Skelton, the big Aussie lock, when he has to go back to his club in France.
Australia feels it immediately.
Massively. Why? Because Kirwan says they don't have 2 others like him. You lose that one key player.
Like Richie Mo'unga leaving NZ.
Exactly. You don't just lose the player. You lose the ability to rotate, to manage workloads, to experiment without potentially falling off a cliff performance-wise.
Wow. So that leads to Kirwan's big conclusion about the current state of play.
It does. He basically says South Africa has incredible depth. Multiple proven options across the park.
And that's what gives them the edge right now.
That's the core of it. That depth gives them definitely got the jump on New Zealand currently. It's the foundation that lets Erasmus make those godlike calls.
So Rassie is bold because he can be. The system supports it.
That's the argument. His boldness is enabled by the resources. Robertson, on the other hand, is cautious perhaps because he has to be, working with fewer top-tier experienced assets right at the peak.
Which forces New Zealand rugby to have a real hard look at itself.
A fundamental look. Kirwan's pretty blunt. He says they need to review everything they've done for the last, 15 or 20 years.
Including those policies about selecting overseas-based players.
That seems to be the elephant in the room, yeah. This depth crisis is forcing a rethink of foundational principles.
Okay, this is fascinating stuff. And if you're finding this breakdown as compelling as we are,
and you enjoy digging into the tactics and the structures behind the big teams,
then please do subscribe to Rugby Obsession wherever you listen. It helps us keep doing these deep dives into strategy and, let's face it, the drama of World Rugby.
Yeah, hit subscribe. Now, thinking about what Kirwan said, it does pose a big question for you listening. Given this context that Razor's caution might be driven by these depth issues, what should he do? Should he throw caution to the wind anyway? Take risks, gamble on development, even if the immediate results suffer? Or
is he right to play it safe, try and consolidate until maybe that depth problem gets sorted out somehow? Yeah, what do you think? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And is this whole depth thing, players leaving for money, is that just a Southern Hemisphere problem, or is it global? Are coaches everywhere feeling this pressure? It certainly makes you think twice before yelling, "Be bolder," at the TV, doesn't it? It does. If the cupboard's a bit bare, being bold can just be reckless. So the depth really dictates the strategy. Seems like it. That disparity is kind of the hidden hand shaping the international game right now. The choice between Rassie's experimentation and Razor's continuity. It's not just philosophy. It's economics, player pipelines. Pretty much. It's dictated by the structural support, the sheer number of quality players a nation can call on. So the big takeaway here is Rassie Erasmus isn't just some genius operating in a vacuum. his godlike status, his freedom. It's built on this incredible foundation of South African player depth.
Yeah. The difference between the Boks and, say, the All Blacks right now, strategy-wise, is really a reflection of their different resource pools, according to Kirwan.
The team with the most chess pieces gets to play the most interesting game.
That's a good way to put it. They set the strategic boundaries.
Okay, so final thought to leave everyone mulling over. What does this mean looking ahead, say, to the 2027 World Cup? If Kirwan's right about this depth issue, does the current system, with talent flowing overseas, basically mean only nations with that godlike depth,
Like South Africa currently.
can actually afford to do the kind of experimentation you need to really prepare a team to win the whole thing again?
It's a worrying thought, isn't it? If nations like New Zealand or Australia can't fix their retention or find ways to use overseas players, are they stuck playing catch-up, forced into safe strategies while the bombs just keep developing through calculated risks?
A really compelling point to ponder. Right, make sure you are subscribed to Rugby Obsession so you don't miss our next deep dive.
We'll be back soon.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.